is P.O.C. That's Jung Pak, who likes to engage in sitting right in front of me while the LAPD flies over my office. She's also monitoring right now, walking in engineered light, which is not the sunlight, while I'm at the Fontana Lewis Library or en route to the Fontana Lewis Library. She's group stalking again with LAPD, who's flying over my apartment, monitoring on the venue of the internet, group stalking me, monitoring me, keeping me under surveillance, also engaged in federal stalking. You're going to pay attention to the engineered light, which I captured on the upper portion of my bedroom wall above my bedroom door in still images. And you're also going to pay attention to I took more than one series of images of it because that light is engaged in real-time movement. That is documentation, ladies and gentlemen, of what is terrorism via directed light. You saw the iteration of that while Universal Waste was crossing path like this demon is in the parking lot in the white Tesla. And if that's the buddy of Nathan Sepulveda, they're going to federal prison. I've already documented their license plate. They're maintaining presence in the path, group stalking with headlights on in the parking lot at the crime scene. The people of the state, all 59 units, are going to be prosecuted for what is documented impunity. So nobody's getting away with anything. They're still engaged in state surveillance today on April 27, 2024. That's a demon driving an engineered light while the light source is over me while I'm on Route 61 going to Fontana, California. The entity is engaging in what is federal stalking on the venue of the internet as well. This is an ongoing sex offense while they're aiming engineered light, which is documentation of what is engineered light inside of my apartment on the bedroom walls. The light source is outside of my living room my living room window, and engineered light is, it's all engineered light, but the entity goes to the extent to aim engineered light into my bedroom on the upper portion of the wall. You'll see it above the door, then the entity moves it to the bedroom wall, which I'm facing. This is to communicate a threat. It's also with regard to what they know that is being documented to laws that are going to be created to prosecute them. And the demon-possessed population, which is speaking to and informing about the real-time public safety that exists with this population that's engaging in the system, they engage in more of that threatening conduct. It is evidence of the sex offense that's underway. And it is also you saw this iteration yesterday, the demon that is Tiffany Sherez of 1818 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6. She's driving the white Kia Telluride, and as she crosses path, engineered light touches my body, moves across the asphalt, and it moves behind me while she's crossing path on the building of what is 1810, 1812, and 1814. I capture that on video for you, and I even made a little video so you can focus on just that demon engaging in the pattern of conduct. Universal Waste did the exact same thing. This is the same demonic system, the same pattern of stalking in the path and engineered light at the specific environment, which is exactly what you see Hector Aparicio engaging in right now. This is a demon that knows exactly what I'm saying as I'm saying it. This is what is so creepy and pathetic at the same time. A family of demons that are all going to federal prison, okay, except for the 13-year-old. He's going to get a criminal record. He's going to be prosecuted, but he's the only one that's not going to a federal cell. The rest of them, all three of them are. The entity is engaging in what is stalking with engineered light. While you're looking at Universal Waste crossing path in the vehicle yesterday, the only difference is that demon had a logo on the side of their car. It's the exact same impossible light activity. So when you're looking at that light activity that's on the walls and the floors inside of my apartment, I'm uploading and publishing, reminding you about what I was doing on April 27, 2022. And there is no sun that's ever anywhere near Los Angeles over a random apartment complex aiming inside of my apartment at any time of day. This documentation, which is showing a pattern, you'll see this impossible light inside of any facilitating venue, which is documentation of the entity engaged in what is terrorism via directed light. This is also captured inside of my workplace when I'm showing you what's inside of, for example, the laundry room, a demon studying their communication device, and the shadow, there are layers of the shadows of their body appearing above you on the wall. That's terrorism via directed light while they're stalking you and openly stalking you, including in helicopters. All right. And monitoring in plain sight. That is living in relevant position. That's driving in relevant position. That's walking around in relevant position. This is the entity that's terrorizing you in your face. All right. And doing it in concert with the state that's stalking into health. That's the demon possessed law enforcement agency. That's immediate time in federal prison. All 59 units here are serving time in federal prison. And it's going to be enhanced time because this is a prolonged term and imposing an impermissible threat. That is, you're documented on day one. The government, and documented on day one, engaging in the pattern of conduct. They've been the entity that is repeatedly engaged in kidnapping, is continuously engaging in this. And I want you to see this impossible light activity that's behind me. Okay. This is entirely demonic. The entity was aiming engineered light, lines of engineered light on this wall while the blinds were closed above the door at first. And then after I come back to my room, then it's appearing here on this wall. This is impossible light. This is all impossible light. This is terrorism via directed light. That's supposed to be the sunlight out there. We've already broken down the demonic system of stalking with light. This is what demons are doing. So you have demons such as Universal Waste Systems Incorporated, demons such as Tiffany Sherez, who are engaging in the state's pattern of conduct while they are operating vehicles, engineered light, moving all across surfaces, moving across your body. That's the documentation of what is terrorism via directed light as well. The entity is going to be prosecuted for that, and it's also a sex offense while this engineered light touches your body, while this engineered light is inside of your private space, the evidence of the pattern of conduct, by the way. So while you're looking at the light source outside of this window, LAPD is providing evidence against the people of the state and itself, the entire state of California. At no time today in the state of California, is there ever going to be the sun over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court at 10:29 a.m. And you know why? The light source is going to remain right here outside of my living room window at 10:29 in the morning, at 9:42 in the morning, which is it's an hour and 40 some odd minutes, about an hour and a half from now. The light source is going to be right here. It's not over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. And under no circumstances is there ever going to be sunlight appearing on the walls inside of my bedroom while I am facing it's outside of the living room. That's terrorism via directed light. Understand that. But this is all directed light. But where the entity is going to that extent to communicate a threat, for you to see it, for the entity also engaging in terrorism via helicopter, that's why they're all going to federal prison. Silverview Townhomes is engaging in state surveillance. Todd Speaker Companies, this is the property and the company under which the entity is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. I'm still documenting him and Speaker Companies whose pockets I'm going to drain. And Speaker Companies is going to be prosecuted as a group stalker, maintained by the Department of Justice. And it's not just Silverview Townhomes. Understand, that's just an easy way for me to identify a large group of people who are being simultaneously documented engaging in a sex offense. That's what group stalking is. That's exactly how you're going to be prosecuted. An exceedingly violent sex offense while you're looking at what is iterations of impossible here. This is impossible light activity appearing on this tree. This is an illumination of light on the trees, okay? It's impossible light activity, and this is the light source facing me, and you have what is engineered light that is hitting on the trees, okay? That's just an example. All of this is impossible light. On today, April 27, 2022, I'm getting on Route 61. I'm headed to what is the Fontana Lewis Library, where the entity is keeping the light source as a matter of documentation until after 7 o'clock in the evening, okay? And then you're juxtaposing that with what the entity is doing, where I was sleeping at night outside at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, where, by the way, the entity does not have any sun that's going to be over the hillside in Los Angeles. It's rising over me at that Ontario Museum of History and Arts as a matter of documentation. Under no circumstances, this is clearly showing the pattern of conduct. Don't forget, just last night, documenting the same pattern of stalking with engineered light. When you're looking at the magnification, nothing other than a different color of the same engineered light magnified on my bedroom wall, that's the ongoing documentation of a sex offense, which thousands and thousands of people are going to be prosecuted for because they're group stalking as the state of California in the specific environment, okay? Pay attention to what that third party just did. This is to their own demise. That white vehicle and engineered light moving across third party facilitating venue where the people of the state are in relevant position. That is 1826 Lobdell Place. It's the prosecution of the people. No third party is getting away. You're going to prosecute all. You have plenty of names to be prosecuted for the conduct of the entity that just crossed paths at Lobdell Place, communicating a threat, engaging in terrorism via direct. This is what the demon possessed engage in. They engage in more of the same while you expose it and while you prosecute it. Then you'll have another sex offender, another psychopath engage in the same criminal system. And guess who's going to be prosecuted for it? Lobdell Place. It's a facilitating venue. They're monitoring with that demon that drove by. Tiffany Sherez engaging in the identical behavioral pattern, showing what is the system that is underway, and that's how you're prosecuting all the co-conspirators engaging in that same system. That is a communication of a threat by a demon-possessed population who are the cause of what is an ongoing public safety issue. This population engaging in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, also posing an impermissible threat, showing an unlawful determination, acting in concert with corrupt police departments who are taking the lives of, placing under surveillance, and seeking to kidnap American citizens whom they are placing under surveillance, and they're monitoring your documentation on the venue of the internet, monitoring every aspect of your life on the venue. That's the significance of what the people of the state just provided, crossing path and engineer light, moving all across Lobdell Place, which is, you've already witnessed that. Waste management, engaging in that same criminal system. Waste management is going to be prosecuted while the people of the state are continuously engaging in that. Waste management doesn't cease to be a part of the entity. Waste management event has already demonstrated what the entire entity is engaging in. While another group stalker, remember, it's just a faceless entity. When you're understanding the system, you have what are the multitude of faces engaging in the same one. So while one demon thinks that they're getting away, they are incriminating everyone else. All 59 units whose identity are known. I want to be clear, the federal government's not ignorant about any and who, none of that. But this is what I'm saying. This is the psychopath. This is the demon possessed. But let me be clear, the target individual who has the identity, specific identity of everybody who lives here is monitoring to that facilitating conduct, to that communication of a threat, to that ongoing act of terrorism, which is captured on the walls inside of my apartment, inside of my bedroom, while the entity is stalking me by helicopter and posing that impermissible threat in real time. Let me be clear, that's going to be reflected in the time in federal prison that the people of the state committed to that very system are mutually, simultaneously, jointly communicating that threat together, communicating, exhibiting that impunity together. And that's how you are always analyzing what is the ongoing criminal conspiracy by the state that's keeping you under surveillance. So like I said, that is the idiotic pattern of conduct by the demon possessed. But as idiotic as it is, it's directly relevant to the threat that they pose to American citizens in this country, and relevant to what is time in federal prison. Okay, so you're looking at what is supposedly sunlight coming through the window, and through my opposite in my bedroom, you're looking at where the light source is out here, but you're looking at light that's appearing on the upward portions of my wall. That's capturing what this is engineered light as well. Those fantastic, spectacular methods of trying to stalk someone and terrorize them with engineered light, going up and above and beyond to be a stalker with your demonic light to keep me under surveillance, that's documentation of what is the impermissible threat and terrorism via directed light. That's what Tiffany Sherez engaged in yesterday. All right, she's going to be prosecuted for that. That's directly relevant to her mental state and why those children are going to be removed from her custody. And she is sharing the same criminal pattern of conduct, the same mental deranged state as the rest of the people of the state. She's not acting as an individual. She's not the only psychopath. Okay, it is shared by the entity that's monitoring, including those that are flying helicopters. An unheard of method of stalking someone. For what reason is a whole agency committed at that degree, to that level of stalking someone, seeking to terrorize them, seeking to communicate the fact that you're under surveillance? And I have shown you 20 to 25 times video of 47 minutes of flying in a circle in relevant position to me, and they're to date continuously engaging in that. Absolutely, they're all going to federal prison. Absolutely. They're all 59 units are going to federal prison, and they're going to be removed from the children whom they are in custody of, since they like to include those children in that system of terrorism and stalking and sexual violence, very highly disturbing conduct that people should not be engaging in, especially in violation of the law. And since you want to train your children up in that way to make them terrorists and sex offenders and stalkers, you're going to remove them from that population. They are a threat, even to the younger generation. So that's why you're removing them. It is a matter of public safety. Okay, so I want to be clear. It's currently 8:15 a.m. There's no sun that's going to be over the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Courthouse. And you also know that that's not sunlight that the demons at the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court are walking in. It's the specific environment. As I'm showing you what's going on here, that's exactly what I was documenting and showing and revealing and exposing that's going on at a state facilitating venue where they would like to maintain the appearance of dignity and law and order, and could not be further from the truth. It is the pattern of conduct. All right, and this is what the entity is engaging in at courthouses while they are sitting on benches and practicing law and calling themselves affiliated with the district attorney's office, with the public defender's office, getting information coming from some sort of source of probable cause and warrants through the very demons that are stalking in helicopters. They are illegitimate at the outset, kidnapping targeted individuals whom they are placing under surveillance, and they are doing so in concert with the people of the state who are fully engaged in that criminal system. That is what you are understanding when I'm showing you the pattern of conduct that I remain subject to now in Los Angeles, which at no time is shared with the environment that I'm capturing in Fontana, California today in 2022. That's the significance. That's the whole big picture. The pattern of conduct goes into the courts. How it does not stop at the walls, at the doors of the court. It is continuing at the courthouse. And that's why I'm capturing at 9:42 and 10:29 a.m. during daylight savings time, the light source, which is not the sun, because you already know, as I captured yesterday and the day before, and for the ongoing months, the pattern of conduct that's underway here, there is no shared environment. There is no sun that's over the courthouse at the same time that's over. You're looking at the same exact analysis, and it applies to the courts in the state of California. It is the pattern of conduct. This is capturing terrorism via direct light, and it is documentation of what is a sex offense, which, by the way, the state facilitating venues, including the sheriff's departments, their facilities, including the hospitals that engage in kidnapping via criminal defamation, and including the entity that is doing so as I remain here in Los Angeles, capturing what is the evidence of a sex offense. And that's exactly how they're going to be prosecuted, and they're going to be minimized, reduced to what the criminal conduct that they're actually engaging in secretly. They're sex offenders, they're stalkers, and they're engaging in terrorism in the state of California. And that specific environment is the evidence of it. And you're not going to be treated differently under the law because you call yourself a court. That's the entity masquerading. That's the demon possessed masquerading in positions of authority for which they need to be removed from because of the criminal activity that they're engaged in. All right. It is currently 8:17 a.m. This is documentation of what is terrorism via directed light, which is the specific environment where state surveillance is underway. It is telling on every single last person in relevant position, not just Silverview Townhomes, which is an easy way for me to identify a group. They're living in relevant position on the hillside up there. That's not sunlight covering all those properties. That's not sunlight covering the third-party facilitating venues on Alvarado Street. That's not sunlight covering Lobdell Place, 1826 Lobdell. That's not even sunlight. That's engineered light while demons are placing me under surveillance. The same exact system, that's what ties them all together. So then you're taking it out of what is the specific environment here, because I have documented the state. I've shown you this pattern of conduct at the courts. I've documented this pattern of conduct inside of the facilities where this same exact entity kidnapped me. And that is the prosecution of the state of California. It is currently 8:18 a.m. and this is P.O.C.